I'm Wayne Swaddling, President of the Gnoo Blas Classic Car Club. We're celebrating 65 years of touring cars in Orange, New South Wales on the 8th of February. One of our special guests is Ray Berghouse. Here's a small preview of what to expect.
I've been involved in motor racing for a very long time. My name is Ray Berghouse. I've been a number of things in motor racing. I've been a driver, a navigator, a photographer, a journalist, a publisher. I've been on television a little bit. My first race meeting was in 1960 and I would have been 18 years old. And I got the bug very quickly. I wasn't able to afford a Porsche, so I bought a Volkswagen. I just enjoyed motor racing enormously, and I enjoyed the people of motor racing. I was still competing in the late 60s, so about 67 I was still competing, but I was starting to get into the media side of things. In 1968, I was employed by a photographic studio in Sydney to drive a team of photographers on the Australian leg of the London City Marathon. I realised that we were going to be there for 4 or 5 hours filming the cars coming through, so I just simply borrowed a camera from one of the guys and wandered around taking pictures, and that's where it started. I've known Jerry for a long time. I remember Jerry very clearly when he was running British and Continental cars in the city. Jerry's let's call him a character. Yeah. The next step really from photography, I was running a reasonably successful photographic business, specialising in motor racing, and at the end of the 8 weeks of the Tasman series, I suddenly discovered myself working for a motor racing newspaper. Then that publication was sold to Kerry Packer's company called KG Murray Publishing, and I moved to there and I learned more about publishing. And in the late 70s, I decided to go out on my own. Originally, it was just Berghouse Publishing. And then a little while later, I teamed up with Tom Floyd and Bill Tuckey, and we formed a publishing group which was called BFT Publishing. And then in 1980, we produced the first annual book on the 1980 Bathurst race. And that went on for another 35 years. The Chevron Publishing Group started when Bill Tuckey decided he was going to move to Melbourne, and so we had to reform. And we did, and we changed it from BFT Publishing, which was Berghouse Floyd Tuckey, to Chevron Publishing. In regard to the start of Muscle Car magazine, it was at Oran Park at a touring car championship race, and Mark Osler, who was at that time a journalist working for Channel 7, we were standing together and we started talking about magazine ideas. We decided to publish Australian Muscle Car magazine. The original plan was for it to be a quarterly, at the same time publishing a number of other motor racing magazines. We had Racing Car News, we had Australian Motor Racing Australia. We were doing a variety of things. We were doing a lot of event programs. So what do? We produced 5,000 copies, we put it out in the marketplace. We thought 5,000 would be a great target. And by the time we were ready to put out the second issue, we were looking at sales figures around 14,000. And literally it went from being a non-existent idea to a raging success. Photography is one of the great things that you can actually always call upon to recall history. The pictures that we'll show actually are in groups. So you've got an Appendix J group, which starts at 1960 at Gnoo Blas, and then you move into the change. You bring in Cortinas, you bring in Morris Cooper S's, and then you bring in Ford Mustangs and the American pony car. For instance, in the early 1990s, there was the Sierra invasion from England. There was the era of the Godzillas. There's been so many different eras that you can show in little groups of photographs. When your organisation was kind enough to invite me to actually be the talking head at the 2025 function, I was quite surprised. I can remember quite a few interesting stories. I'm really pleased to have been invited to your function, so I look forward to it greatly.
As you can see, Ray's got plenty of interesting stories, so book your ticket, find us on Facebook or visit gnooblas.com.